What is up, everybody? Good Thursday morning. I'm sitting down here at my spot that I film at, and yeah, it's kind of interesting this morning, guys. I just found something. I mean, just sitting here, you know, being aware of my surroundings. I don't know what it is, but hey, let's go take a look. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm gonna show you guys because I don't know who put this here. I don't know if it is a ploy against me or what have you. I'm gonna try to get up here where I can get it in the old background. They think they smooth though. Let me see if I can get this thing behind me. I gotta try to zoom in. I'm not gonna be able to zoom. So we're gonna have to flip camera around. Yeah, see that, guys? That is like, oh man, just hold it. There you go. Somebody's got a camera up down here, which I don't know. It don't really bother me, but I mean, what if these dudes are doing like reconnaissance research on me to try to rob the old shit box? What if they trying to rob? I mean, look at this, guy. This is like a road. You know, well, I think I know probably what it is. People come down here and dump stuff. They dump garbage and pallets and, hold on, get my hand out of the way of the camera. Yeah, they dump all kind of stuff down here. Because I'm up here toward the entrance of this road and like off the highway, and the camera's pointed like down that way. And that's where everybody dumps at. I mean, I've been down here for it, and I've had to like literally like zigzag down the road because of people dumping trash and everything else out. So I'd imagine that's what they're doing. They probably got it there for that. But anyway, it's just kind of weird seeing a camera on this road, you know, like a game camera. I know they're not out here like trying to catch game on it, trying to catch people doing crazy crap. But figured it'd be kind of cool to put in a video this morning. So anyway, guys, I do have a little subject for us today. Cheap brands and what to expect. That's what I got. So, cheap brands. And I know people are going to hate that I put this brand in the cheap brand category, but, you know, quality, which they're probably the king of the cheap brands. Them are American based, but you know, you got Scar. That's the one everybody's going to be hating on me for. American based, which honestly is probably better than Scar. Sound Cubed, and so on and so forth. The lower line, you know, of DS18 stuff, they're all lower brand. And can you get good results out of them? Yes. Yes, you can, if you know what you're doing. Don't want to vape on camera. But yeah, you can get good review or results out of them brands. I mean, I had 415-inch American base XFLs in here. Got to a 160. But I mean, guys, I had them tapped, like severely tapped on what they could do because I had way too much power on them. Like I had so much power on them that, and that was only 2 MD8Ks. But I was powering them enough that they would, I mean, I could turn up playing music and within like 2 seconds I could smell them. But they popped off a 160 and that was my goal. And that was like a really cheap subwoofer. I mean, back when I got them, I paid under $200 a piece. I paid like $390 per pair. And that was like, you know, a good budget subwoofer. I did really great with them. It's kind of what got me notoriety in the beginning as being, you know, a serious bass head, and it got me known in the community. Now, you can get good results with cheap equipment. It's just my warning is cheap equipment usually don't last. Now, I know that, like, you know, Brad Cooper and Tristan Cooper, father-son team, they're doing really good with their Scar ZVXs, but, I mean, they got the highest level of Scar you can get. Don't say the DNR, because that thing was nothing more than a paperweight. And, I mean, look at what they're doing. They're giving nasty demos, sending windshields, and the majority of the reason is they have a ton of cone area. But they're still doing it, and when you face the facts of it, they got all that cone area for what they would have paid for half of the cone area going with a more reputable or better brand. When I say better brand, I'm just saying better quality, you know, better subwoofer. So their end result is great for what they got. They've only got 4 MD8Ks in there, and they are giving nasty demos. It's really windy. So, they're, again, you know, a good amount of cone area and lower power. So, they're not overpowering them subs at all. I mean, those subs should last a long time at the power level they have on them. And granted, there are subs out there that would take a 8K all day long. And I've proved that when I had the Prides in here. You know, they ate an 8K. These are eating an 8K. These, I don't know how well they're going to do long term on that, because I've been beating the crap out of them. But the thing is, would the ZVXs take an 8K piece? I don't really think they would be happy about it, but, you know, they could probably, I don't know how, I can't remember. I think you got 16 12s in there. So, God, they could probably add 4 more 8Ks and kind of start reaching the limit of what those subs will handle, but they'd probably get a lot nastier. And if they were tuned good and clean, I think it would do all right. Now, you know, you run into cheaper brands that I would definitely stay away from is like Rockville. I know there's a lot of guys that love Rockville. I've never tried Rockville, but I've seen Rockville's own videos that just made them look like idiots themselves when they had all the trouble with that K9. Because they tried to do their own testing of a Sundown SA. I think it was an SA. I can't remember. Versus the K9. They kept saying that no sub will handle that amount of power on music for long term. And they blew their own sub, and the SA went on forever. The Sundown sub did. You pair that with what EXO did in his testing and some other people, and, you know, I don't even have to try Rockville myself, because, you know, all the proof is right there in video after they did it to themselves. So that's a brand I would stay away from, definitely. And then, you know, you get stuff like Boss, Dual. I mean, you're never going to get quality going that route. Now, if you have that and you're bumping with it, great. I love to see everybody bump. I'm just saying, out the gate, those are kind of brands that I would definitely ignore. And I'm sure there's plenty more out there. And, you know, Big D Wiz does a lot of testing on here of amplifiers. And he's tested some pretty strange named amplifiers. Like, one of them was called something Slayer. And that was like nothing more than probably a rebranded Tar Amps or a knockoff Tar Amps. I know he tested tons of amplifiers with crazy names. They're totally awesome. I can't remember, guys. Don't hold me to that. But it is nothing more than what Sundown made the SFB amps, you know. I think Sundown just kind of went through a catalog from China Build House and was like, yeah, let's do this amp right here for our full bridge line. And the bad thing about that is it was open for anybody to buy. So everybody started making that same amp, like Wolfram, Def Bonts. All these companies started using that exact same amp with different names on it. Don't hold me to that 100%, because I might be wrong. But they all looked exactly the same. And, you know, they were priced anywhere from like $89 for just off the wall name went on Amazon to like $500 for Sundown. But the thing is, you can probably get a fairly decent amp watching Big D Wiz and his amp dyno test. You know, you can probably come out with a little gem doing that. I mean, a lot of the amps ain't going to do what they say, you know, especially if it says it does like 20,000 watts on the box and it's an amp like, you know, this big. But hey, if you're getting a couple thousand out of it and it's only like $150, that's a win-win for you, especially if you're on a budget. Me personally, I see posts all the time, like all the time, guys. It never ends, about DS18 on Facebook. Like, you know, people are like, DS18 just makes nothing but garbage. Man, the thing is people want to compare like DS18 to PRV and all this stuff on their regular line of like speakers. Man, they're probably the same. Like, it's probably the same thing. You know, DS18's having their cheap line of speakers, or their cheaper lines, made at a China build house, and the same guys that are bashing the DS18 are probably running the exact same speaker with a PRV logo on it. This is just fact. I mean, a lot of companies are the same exact speaker, and I see guys on Facebook arguing over it. And it makes no sense. None at all. I mean, I guess because they don't know, but yeah, DS18 has some low-end stuff that isn't great. I admit that. But it's like the 10-inch mids I have in here. That is a high-end cast aluminum basket neodymium motor mid. I think they are rated at 500 RMS a piece and 1000 max. I have a 5K per pair. I'm not nowhere near turned all the way up on the gain. I got the amp set very conservative, but they're getting a lot more power than they're rated for. And I've had to recone one. But that's another cool thing, is they are reconable. Yeah, they're $250 a piece, but I would kind of match them up there with, you know, some of the better brand name like PRV stuff or whatever. I mean, they're going to be right there with it. You know, DS18 makes some really like lower quality Chinese build house amplifiers. I admit that. They probably aren't that great. But them Hooligan KOs I got in the back, I put them up with anybody's amp, you know. I mean, they're made at S&I Build House. It don't really get no better than that for amplifiers. I mean, there's another Korean build house, but most bass heads admit, you know, that other Korean build house just isn't up to the quality of the S&I Build House. So, you know, it's like anything. Some of the lower brand stuff, their higher end stuff is pretty good. You know, even like Sundown, they everything they got is pretty good. I'll give them that. Their SFB amps wasn't that great, and I think they got one now called like a SIA. I don't know. All they did is that whole full bridge line of stuff they got, they're just kind of following like Tar amps, because that's supposed to be, I guess, like the equivalent of a Tar amp smart amp, but it's a Chinese version of the smart amp. But I haven't seen a whole lot about it yet. I know they really dropped the ball with the SFB amps. Them things are blowing left and right. And I see what they're doing. I mean, Tar amps probably sells more amps than anybody. And their smart technology amp, I love them smart amps, dude. Them things are awesome. So, of course, they had to try to get their Chinese build house to get on board and make them something for that. I'm not bad-mouthing like Sundown at all, because I really like their stuff. I wouldn't run it myself because, honestly, I love it. I love their products. I see nothing wrong with Sundown stuff. Hell, they're right up the road from me. I mean, if I blow, I could just go up there and, like, you know. But the problem is, you go to a car audio show and, you know, somebody, you tell your friend, like, hey, I just got a badass demo. They're like, what was it in? I'm like, man, that black Tahoe with the Sundown in it. They're going to turn around and look. There's going to be 8 of them in a row. 8 black Tahoes in a row with Sundown in it. That's why I would never want a Tahoe. And I want to run Sundown. You know, I like it, but I really don't want to run Sundown because everybody runs Sundown. I like being the oddball, you know, when they're like, man, that Jeep was not, which one? That ugly blue and, you know, with the G2 in it. They got to know exactly who they're talking about. But the thing is, guys, you get cheaper brands or your off-brand stuff. And I've seen pretty loud builds with, you know, the top dogs of the cheap budget brands, you know, like American Bass, Sound Cubed. There was another company that I really liked. They went out of business, and Wolfram was pretty much making the same stuff. Wolfram doesn't make anything. They have a Chinese build house make their subs, but there was Dark AI, like Dark Audio. They made really, really decent stuff back in the day. But if you get some of these budget brands, man, you can build a banging ass system and a loud, impressive system. You know, if you're on a budget and you're picking American Bass, Scar, or Sound Cubed, whatever, do your research, build a really good enclosure, and throw some decent power on it, and you'll get loud. I mean, enclosure is a good portion of your build. Now, you throw a shit ton of power on it, I'm not going to say it's going to last as long as buying a good name brand sub, you know, like your DC, your FI, your Sundown. Even these old G2s. I think these are a little more than budget brand now, but they've proven themselves to be very, very good. I really like them. And Synergy, I don't even consider Synergy to be a budget brand. They don't have a budget price at all. Their amplifiers are like right up there with the best of them. They're all doing more than like, they're clamping way more than rated. I love the Synergy amps, and I have been nothing but impressed with their subwoofers. So, but they're still a relatively new company. I'm hoping they just catch on, man, because they are really, everything that dude puts his name on is quality. But yeah, shop around, buy what's in your budget. I recommend that like to the death. Buy what's in your budget, guys. You don't have to be a brand name nut hugger, and that's why a lot of people just don't like Scar, because of Scar fans. I have nothing against Scar. I don't like the EVLs, but other than that, I don't hate Scar. I just hate Scar fanboys. You know, they're worse than the Sundown fanboys, because the Sundown fanboys, at least they're bragging on shit that they know is good. But if you run a cheap brand, like even if you run American Bass, I like American Bass, you know. But if you run American Bass and you're out here like, dude, it's just as good as DC and it's just as good as Sundown, you're a damn liar. And when you say Scar is just as good as Sundown, you're a damn liar. I mean, it's not gonna hold up near as long. But is it good? Yeah. And if you run Scar, just don't be a fanboy like that, you know. Be proud of what your system's doing, because you don't have a reputation to live up to. You don't have to be out here lying and saying it's as good as some of the real brand name stuff. I mean, it is a brand name. It's just a cheaper brand name. But you don't have to defend nothing. Let your system do the talking. That's what Brad Cooper does. Brad Cooper's got a badass system with Scar. And I mean, he probably knows it ain't as good as Sundown. I'd imagine he's been in car audio forever, but he got a badass system on a budget. And he lets the system do his talking, and that's all you should do, guys. Don't be out here making people dislike the brand because of your attitude toward it, is all I'm getting at. I mean, I don't get out here and say these G2s are better than Sundown or DC or whatever. I don't care. I'll let the system do the talking. I didn't pay Sundown or DC price for them, you know, but they got their place. They do really good. I'm impressed with them. And that's all it comes down to. Be happy with what you got. I've been rambling way too long, guys. Rambling on. I might have a house. I forgot to tell you all that in the beginning. We're waiting on the word right now, but we're going through the stages. So hopefully I'll have like good news in the next video. Peace out, guys, and bass on.